Hi and welcome to the Indulge podcast with me, Roman Leishram. And like every week, I have someone super special in conversation with us. This week, I have a close friend and someone who I absolutely adore, Maya the drag queen, aka Alex Mathew. Or should I say it the opposite way?
Anything is fine, actually.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me here. It's quite a brilliant opportunity.
I'm so happy you could take time to come out. 10 years.
Yes.
My God, you rule the drag scene in Bangalore. You've been called South India's first, evocative drag queen. You've been doing fabulous work. You brought Malayali drag, if you can call it that, to the forefront. How has this journey been?
Well, the journey has been a lot in terms of a roller coaster of emotions, first of all. I did go through my ups and downs. But ultimately, what I enjoyed most was the adrenaline rush that I got from each performances. I think my best performance till date is Mayavali. So
Yes, we've all seen that. We should tell our audiences, do check out the video. It's on his Instagram profile. It is absolutely fun to watch.
So yeah, after that, I think if I look back at September 2014 when I did my first drag performance at Kwame event, I didn't have any sort of expectations. I just went there, just wanted to let out my femininity loose and have fun. Basically,
Nice.
I think that's a crux of being a drag queen. Just having fun and painting the town all colors, possibly rainbow, basically.
Yeah, red's so boring.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, of course, we have to start from the very beginning. How did you first decide to do drag? You came into a scene where there were hardly any drag artists for you to look up to. You are quite tall, you do present as masculine. For you to take this step and say, I don't care what the world thinks about me, and to get into this a female garb in that sense, of course, extremely exaggerated. But how did the idea of drag come to you, and what led you to feel like I can do this?
So I have to give ode to theatre because I started performing in theatre in 2011. Theatre actually made me who I am. But at the same time, I met a trans man who was actually part of theatre, and this, the way he expressed and way he said that how he was free about, expressing himself, kind of led me to be like, I need to be true to myself.
Nice.
So when I was performing for a Kwame event, and I think it was my second Kwame event performance, I felt stagnant. I felt like I was not able to put across my full potential.
And this wasn't a drag performance.
This was not a drag performance. I was performing as Alex. So that's when I was like, you know what, I need to research. I need to find other forms of art form where, I can set myself apart. And that's when I came across Mrs. Doubtfire and also the Indian version of it, which is known as Avai Shanmugai and Chachi Chasubis. So with that, I was like, if Robin Williams and Kamala Hassan can do drag, then I can do drag
Absolutely.
too. So with that, I came and spoke to the Kwame founder and said, you know what, I want to do this. Do you think it's a good idea? And he said, yeah, go ahead and do it. And with that, gave birth to Maya the drag queen, or in the other name that is known as Mayama.
Lovely.
So that's how it all started. With I think I performed to Kajirare and sang Apangana.
Yes, I think that image is always going to be in the minds of, etched in the minds of Bangaloreans. A drag artist in a Kasada
Sari,
Just
yes.
absolutely iconic. 10 years down the line, you've seen the ups and downs of the drag industry, the scene in India. How much do you think has it evolved or changed for the better, for the worse? And I think today a lot of people know about drag because of shows like RuPaul Drag Race and stuff like that. How beneficial has that been to a drag artist like you? I know, very long question, but
I think I should start with how people perceived me back then in 2014. I think they were not able to group me. Am I a cross-dresser? Am I a trans woman? They didn't know the word drag as an art form. So I had to get into this, it's a journey or like a mission to educate people by doing TEDx talks, going to different schools and colleges and educating people about drag as an art form. Coming to RuPaul's Drag Race, it came on Netflix around 2017 or 18. And that's when there was a sudden surge of drag race fans. And with that, there was a nightclub and a hotel chain which was also interested in it. And it kind of gave a spark to a lot of drag queens and drag kings to come into the scene. But if you're looking at the growth of drag clubs or anything like that,
also as an art form in India.
yeah, it has not grown as much as compared to the West. West or the East. Actually, if you look at Thailand and many parts of Southeast Asia, there's a lot of growth of drag clubs actually. But that's not happening here because of the fact that we live in a patriarchal society. And, if I was a man making fun of women, I would have gotten fame really quickly.
Yeah.
But I am actually embodying a woman or embodying the women characters. And that is where people are like, oh, this is not what we signed up for. And so all of that. So if I'm looking at a decade of, drag queens, there is growth definitely, but I still feel we have a long way to go. So if people are telling me, oh, they should be India's drag race, we have not reached there yet.
Nice.
I would my goal is at least have one drag queen and a drag king coming out of each state.
Oh, lovely.
And a drag club which is dedicated to drag performances. I won't say every other day, but at least once a week or once a month or twice a month. So that is something which is missing now in India.
Okay. I must ask at this point in time that when we're talking about drag in India, like a lot of people in the West believe that drag as a form can be pretty critical of women, right? And you kind of brought that up. Whereas I've seen drag in India being very inclusive.
Yeah.
A lot of women feel very safe within drag spaces. So how have you as an artist been able to ensure that? Because you also said that, that this is not a safe space for a lot of people. A lot of people are pretty toxic within these environments. And globally, we know how drag can be very, very, very sassy and scheming. But you've kind of kept that out of your performances. Your performances are very pro all kinds of genders, all kinds of identities. You're also a body positivity activist. So how did that idea come to you that I'm going to make this a safe and inclusive space?
Ideally, I think, my journey, it started with women supporting. For the fact that my makeup, my sari was given to me by my mother. My own, to wear the brows, I got it from a woman. I didn't go and search it from a store or anything like that. So for me, when I was like, I'm actually taking their journey with me.
Oh, lovely.
I'm also like, when people say, oh, what is Maya all about? Or where did she get the inspiration from? I say, they are from my mother's, my aunts, my grandmothers. So, with that, I'm carrying their form of their power and their journey with me. So that's why I was like, whenever was my shows, I want to ensure that it is a safe space where people can be together, be it in any form of gender, be it in any form of sexuality. They need to have a space to express themselves, which is not happening in a lot of spaces. Like, for instance, I think when I was performing, I wasn't performing, I was hosting, and I was dressed in like proper sari, and there was one queer boy who came and said, oh, so you can dress up in a sari, right? So I can also dress up as well. I was like, yeah, you can. And you won't believe it, for continuously till I was there in that nightclub, that boy made sure he dressed up every day that I performed or every day I was hosting.
Oh, how lovely.
So imagine that spark is more than enough for actually people to actually come and feel that this is safe. And this is what people require.
Lovely. Now, something that again we have to talk about, because of the fact that RuPaul and shows like that kind of have dictated the terms of what drag should look like. You were talking earlier in the conversation about how people criticize you for putting on weight, losing weight, being tall, being masculine, being this, being that. How do you deal with people not being able to look at it as an inclusive art form and say that no, this is a look and you have to look like
Yeah.
this? How do you fight these?
So I keep saying, okay, I'm an Indian drag queen, and I look at Indian women. How do they dress? I've seen women in Malaysian walking with sari and sports shoes.
Absolutely.
So I'm like, they're rocking it. Why can't I rock it too? So I don't have to wear like a 6-inch heels and walk around. I can walk with flats. I can walk with kolhapuris. That actually embodies my Indianness, you know. Or I can just wear like 1-inch heel or whatever. At the same time, I think what is happening is people form an imagery of, oh, all drag queens should be certain like this. They should cinch their waist. They should, give that hourglass figure, and they should have their boobs should be big and all of that. But it's not necessary. In Indian women or women particularly they don't dress up always like that.
True.
So why do I have to go into that crux of it?
Nice.
Like I've heard like a lot of, mostly gay men actually. They say, oh my God, your hair should be bigger. I said, no, I don't have to.
Exactly. This is who I am.
This is who I am, and this is who you get,
10 years down the line, you've seen the art evolve. It's taken all kinds of colors and forms and all kinds of things. I know there are people like Patruni in Hyderabad who are, bringing back the research element, the historical element of drag. Your personal journey, how has it been over the last 10 years as a drag artist?
So in 10 years, like I said before, I think it has taken an educational route, where I'm like educating people on it. But at the same time, I do a lot of fun stuff. Basically, I do videos where I'm making fun of myself because that's something which I like to bring the comedy element to it. Ideally, that is my journey been. It has been with education and fun. Now coming to Patruni, like I love the fact that Patruni is doing the whole educating people on HIV and safe sex and all of that, which is something which is missing in the society.
Along with drag.
Yeah, along with drag. We had a recent conversation where there's certain drag queen kind of told them to feminize themselves.
Oh, God, wow.
And I'm like, that's not right. You should be who you want to be.
Absolutely.
So that's something which I like to tell all drag queens as well, that you should not listen to what others say. You should have a spine of yourself.
So you're the gatekeeper of the gatekeepers.
Probably I'm more of the breaking of the gate.
Very nice. Okay, my last question to you is now, I know you're doing a fabulous performance that you're starting, hopefully a whole series.
Yeah.
Exclusively dedicated to the drag community in Bangalore. What is your idea for that? How are you going to celebrate your 10th anniversary?
I didn't start this on my own. I started this with a party promoter, organization known as Dude Party, which is started by Madhav, Ahmed and Harish. They reached out to me and said, we do need to have our own drag Fridays or drag nights. And they said, we're going to fully support you on it.
Lovely.
So let's start with you. And I'm like, okay. So then I was being very like, me and maybe 2 other drag queens. They're like, no, the night is going to be all about you. And I got a little scared. Probably it's just me being like, I've not performed for a long time. I've not performed since the last performance I did was for a corporate show in June, but that's not considered as a performance. But technically for the community, I performed only in July 2023. So it's been a long time. So I got a little scared. But at the same time, I was like, no, I can do this, But the night is just going to be about, like how I stated earlier, about expression. You want to express whoever or however you want to be. That's the night. That's what the night is all about. We are performing because we like to express our femininity. And then nobody should tell us, no, you can't do it.
Nice.
And that's just the statement that we are creating. And it's not just for me, it's for all the other drag queens in Bangalore particularly. If other states want to come and join us, do reach out to us and we can do it actually. So that's the idea behind the nights, and it's going to take place every Friday in different properties all around Bangalore.
Fabulous. On that wonderfully hopeful and motivational note, I think we'll wrap up this conversation. Thank you so much for your time, Alex. That's been Roma Livestream and Alex Mathew on the Indulge podcast. Do tune in every single week for amazing conversations from the world of lifestyle, art, culture, and entertainment. Bye.